Hi everyone, I'm JR, and this will be a video starring the state of North Carolina and representing the school of Cary Academy in Cary, North Carolina. So without further ado, let's get started. The flag consists of red, white, and blue fields, and with a star in the middle of the blue field. The star has N and C on either side, representing North Carolina. On either side, up and down, are the dates April 12th, 1776 and May 20th, 1775. Which were the dates of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence and the Halifax Resolve. The finalization of both of these documents put North Carolina at the forefront of the British independence movement and was actually the inspiration for Congress to write the real U.S. Declaration of Independence less than 3 months later. You may have heard North Carolina be called the Tar Heel State, and this can be attributed to many different things, the most common of which is that North Carolina produced a lot of tar and cement and asphalt back in the day, and the name just kind of stuck. So, North Carolina's regions and cities. This is pretty interesting. We have 4 different regions, the westernmost of which is the mountain range, right in the middle is the Piedmont, and then the inner and outer coastal plains. So let's get started. In the mountain range, you can find the mountains, as well as cities like Boone and Asheville. These are huge tourist destinations, with the Biltmore Estate being one of the most visited tourist attractions in the country. Also, you can find the highest point east of the Mississippi, which is Mount Mitchell. So, moving east, we find the Piedmont region. This is where most of the population of North Carolina lives, and where you can find the 2 largest cities of North Carolina, Charlotte and Raleigh. One of the suburbs of Raleigh is Cary, which is where Cary Academy is located. Now, we have this thing called the Triangle, and it's 3 cities, which are Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, which form to make a triangle. At the center of this triangle, you can find the Research Triangle Park, where many technology corporations have offices. Also, we're well known for our universities, including North Carolina State University, University of North Carolina, and Duke. Now, NC State University and the University of North Carolina are very different and have a very long-standing rivalry. However, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill was founded almost a century before State was. So I'm going to do the inner coastal plain and the outer coastal plain as one big section with 2 parts. Generally, it's considered that the coastal plains include the Outer Banks and mainland North Carolina's flat plains, but I did research on 2 of them, and you will see those 2 sections in the upcoming part of this video. Alright, so the intercoastal plain. This is not where all of the huge touristy beaches are, but it's very flat, which means that it's perfect for building towns. You can find many small towns like Washington, North Carolina, Morehead City, Elizabeth City, and the biggest one, Wilmington. The far south, of course, is where Wilmington is, and what's really funny is that half of North Carolina is further south than the northernmost point of South Carolina. So the outer coastal plain are the Outer Banks. This is one of the most visited beach areas in the country. You can find many beautiful beaches, including Indian Beach, Ocean Isle, Emerald Isle, the list goes on and on. Also, it's home to Cape Hatteras, which is the largest lighthouse to ever have been moved due to an erosion problem. And probably the most famous thing that ever happened in the Outer Banks was the first flight from the Wright brothers. This occurred in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina in December of 1906. They flew for about 30 seconds and was the first heavier-than-air powered flight ever to have occurred in the world. So we have this big disagreement with Ohio about who actually invented aviation. Ohio thinks they do because that's where they technically built their plane, but North Carolina does because that's where it actually flew for the first time. So if you look at a license plate from Ohio, it'll say birthplace of aviation because that's where their plane was built, and a North Carolinian one says first in flight. They're both true, but we don't like that they both say, oh, we were first in aviation. So we recently changed it to First in Freedom, which is about the fact that they wrote the first Declaration of Independence from the UK to make everybody happy. So in North Carolina, we have a very high quality of life in most of the metropolitan areas. Asheville has actually an insanely high quality of life, and the Raleigh-Durham-Chapel Hill area has the 4th highest quality of life in the U.S. Outside of there, it's a lot of farmland. We grow a lot of corn, and we have a lot of cow farms, as well as some soy, and we still do grow tobacco. We actually have the 32nd highest income in the U.S. at about $33,000 per year, but 26th, tied with North Dakota, for the 26th lowest unemployment rate at 4.1%. We have a lot of our economy in tech and agriculture. Companies like BB&T and SAS were both headquartered here, and BB&T to this day is still headquartered in Winston-Salem. In the Research Triangle Park, as I mentioned earlier, has offices for Lenovo, Cree, and a myriad of others. Oh, and we are home to the largest film producer outside of California in the U.S., EUE Screen Gem Studios. Tourism is also a pretty big deal here, as North Carolina is the 6th most visited state after Florida, California, New York, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Sales tax is also pretty low at 4.5%. So, finally we have demographics and other facts. Our demographics are pretty normal for an eastern United States state. We have 71% white people, 22% black, 1.6% indigenous, so that's Greenlanders, Icelanders, Inuit people from Canada, and Alaskans, 3% Asian, and 9.2% Hispanic, Latino, or other. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something. Have a great day.